Have you ever stopped to think about what really happens inside your head when that weight just won't move? When you reach that moment where your muscles simply say no and you can't complete the set? Most people think failure in the gym is purely physical, but the reality can be much more complex and interesting than that. Your brain goes through a series of intense neurological responses during those moments of failure. Let's explore 5 curious and rarely discussed brain phenomena that can occur when you hit your muscular limit. 1. Your brain may enter extreme protection mode. When you're close to failing a weightlifting set, your brain isn't just passively observing. It can enter a state of high alert. Your central nervous system begins to modulate the signals sent to your muscles as a protective mechanism. It's as if there were an internal limiter saying, "This might be too risky." This is one of the reasons why you often feel like you can't do one more rep, even if you still have some energy left. Your brain may temporarily reduce muscle activation to prevent possible injury. This mechanism is considered adaptive and can vary greatly from person to person. With consistent training, technique, and confidence, this break tends to diminish, allowing access to higher levels of performance. That's why experienced athletes can often extract more strength than beginners with similar physical composition. 2. Your brain releases an intense mix of substances. When you reach your limit in a set, your brain may release a combination of substances such as endorphins, adrenaline, and stress hormones. While some of these are associated with a sense of well-being, others are linked to alertness. The result is a unique experience. You may feel physical discomfort, but also an increase in focus, energy, and even a sense of satisfaction. This mix helps explain why intense workouts can be so memorable. In many cases, it creates that state of total immersion, where you become completely focused on execution. It's a natural response of the body to intense stimuli. 3. Your brain activates emotion-related regions. During that extremely difficult repetition, your brain isn't dealing only with movement. Regions associated with emotion and alertness, such as the amygdala, may be activated. This happens because the body interprets extreme effort as a high-demand situation. As a result, you may notice an increased heart rate, faster breathing, and muscle tension. In some cases, this response may be perceived as anxiety or even mild emotional discomfort. Over time and with repeated exposure to training, the brain learns that this stimulus does not represent real danger, and this response tends to decrease. That's why more experienced individuals appear calmer and more stable under heavy loads. 4. Your memory of effort may not be accurate. There's an interesting phenomenon. After a very difficult set, your memory of the effort can be influenced by your emotional state. This means you might remember the set as harder or more intense than it actually was, or even distort some details. The brain interprets experiences based on emotion, not just facts. This helps explain why two people can have completely different perceptions of the same workout. The way you remember effort can directly impact your confidence in your next session. If you mentally register an experience as impossible, your brain may create resistance in your next attempt. That's why how you interpret your training directly influences your progress. 5. Your brain may enter a slower processing state. At the most intense moment of failure, your brain may prioritize basic functions related to immediate effort. This can temporarily reduce your ability to think quickly and maintain mental clarity. It's common to feel slight confusion, difficulty focusing, or that slow mind sensation after a very heavy set. This happens because the body is directing energy toward handling the physical effort. This state is temporary, but can last for a few minutes after exercise. That's why many athletes report a kind of mental fog after very intense training sessions. This process shows how deeply connected the brain and body are during maximum effort. Now you understand that when you fail a lift in the gym, it's not just your body being pushed, your brain is highly involved in the process as well. Every attempt, every mistake, and every limit reached is part of a complex system of adaptation. If you enjoyed this content and want to learn more about how body and mind work together during training, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment sharing which of these sensations you notice most in practice. Which one surprised you the most?